Greetings, folks. My name is Zach Borden, and welcome to part 3 of beginning improvisation for the mandolin. In parts 1 and 2, I suggested that it might be a good idea to think about your solos in terms of rhythm and really internalize exactly how long you have rhythmically to get to a given deadline or target note in a song. I'm going to stick with that general idea here and suggest that we pick a tune that has a nice distribution of short notes and long notes. This is a really cool technique. I had a real breakthrough years and years ago where I just kind of realized that in terms of soloing, a lot of bluegrass songs, now I'm talking about songs, not as much instrumentals or fiddle tunes, but basic songs, basic melodies, waltzes, are usually just a nice predictable combination of short notes and long notes. So what I suggest is we work with You Are My Sunshine, okay, just as an example. And what I do with my students a lot is encourage them to subdivide rhythmically a very basic melody. And so I'm going to explain that real quick. You can think of this tune in eighth notes, which would be and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, right? That kind of thing. Oh, or you could think 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, right? And so what I'm doing here is I'm playing a stream of up and down strokes throughout the whole melody. And this takes a little practice if you're not used to it. You'll hear Tim O'Brien do this kind of thing all the time in his solos where he kind of just evens out the melody with consistent, very persistent kind of 16th notes throughout a basic melody. And what's cool about that is it keeps your right hand chugging along, and it gives you a lot more options for improvisation in the long notes. And so I'll just show you what I'm kind of thinking here is that it ends up being down, 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 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, down, 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 1 E and a 2 E and a 3, down, 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 1 E and a 2 E and a 3. Okay, that's enough of that. You get the idea. So what I'm suggesting here is that you really just use this as a way to really internalize how long you have in those spaces. Not necessarily to noodle all throughout that, but in fact do the opposite so that you're actually just really getting it in your hand. So you don't need to play the actual notes. In other words, you don't need to go. You can go. Right? But the idea is that you have it in your right hand. You have that the rhythm in your right hand. So here are a few variations to give you an idea of how I'm thinking. Okay, well, I was probably showing off a little bit there at the end, but the idea here is that you really just want to think about this technique more in terms of creating a palette. You've figured out what the pattern and the amount of time that you have for those long notes. And what I recommend now is, especially for folks that are just starting to break out and improvise, just really start building your variations real slow. So you might even do something like this. Now, even in something that simple, you realize that there's a real kind of call and response. The call is, and the response is, right? There's a story being told, and that's the main thing with improv, is just really create a conversation. You'll hear this in the blues, this idea of paraphrasing. You state something, then you paraphrase it, or you state it again. And so the idea is Think about it as a conversation or a call and response. You've made your statement with the short notes, and then you have the long notes section where it's all divided up, and then you might want to just stick a little response in that. And you don't need to fill the whole space. In fact, it's probably, it's preferable that you don't. So use some restraint. I know you're a mandolin player and it's hard to do that, but all right, I hope that helped. And stop by my website, ZAKBORDEN. I'm accepting students via Skype, and shoot me a note. And do consider maybe making a small contribution so that I can continue to offer these lessons for free. There's a little PayPal button on my website if you would be so generous. Thank you very much for your attention, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.